Hello, friends, and welcome to episode 11 of the Weird Turn Pro. I'm Mo Strummel in Nashville, Tennessee.
And I'm Jason Winfield in Lamont, Pennsylvania. And today we have with us Darcy. Where are you from, Darcy?
I'm from Charleston, Illinois.
Oh, that name. That name. It comes back to me. It is great
Welcome
to
to
hear
the
people
show.
in Charleston. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, are you ready to play some songs for us today?
I am.
Okay. For those of you who may not know, Darcy's an up and comer, right? She's got some songs released though, so you'll need to be checking those out. We'll tell you about the platforms where you can take a look at those. And she's an independent artist. Promoting her work, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So why don't you tell us what you're going to play for us first, and we'll get right into it.
The first song I'm going to play is a song called Poison. I released it along with my first EP that came out February of 2019. I wrote it after getting out of an awkward friendship that I realized was pretty darn toxic. So yeah, I'll just get right into it.
Sounds
Excellent.
good.
You treat me like a cigarette, you light me up and then you throw me away. I'm not your temporary flame. I'm more than just convenience. I'm more than just amusement. I'm trapped spending days crying. I'm cage consumed with surviving you. But my flame shows the truth. I need to leave this ghost town. I need to find an escape route. Flush all the poison out. I see the ashes of your charm left on the ground, my darling. I'm trapped spending days crying. I'm cage consumed with surviving you. But my flame shows the truth. I need to leave this ghost town. I need to find an escape route. Flush all your poison out. I'm a victim of my choices. I'm a victim of your charm. My lungs are suffocating and I hate it. I have to end this affliction. You're the cause of my addiction. I'm trapped spending days crying. I'm cage consumed with surviving you. But my flame shows the truth. I need to leave this ghost town. I need to find an escape route. Flush all your poison out. Flush all your poison out.
That is awesome.
Very nice.
That's very good.
Definitely a universal theme too. I think. I
Yeah.
think everybody's been there at some point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jason.
definitely. Anyway, awesome song. So
Thank
you. That is. I like how you're laying things together. Your phrasing is nice. It bounces nicely and it feels, But then you're listening to it and you're kind of getting that corkscrew at the same time. So
Yeah. Definitely.
Good imagery. Definitely good imagery. Let's ask you. So, obviously, I'm going to ask you: Are you still in high school right now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And what year are you in?
I'm going to be a senior.
Okay. And what's after that for you? Do you think?
Hopefully college.
Okay.
I plan to major in audio engineering. So,
Oh, okay. Have you looked at schools and have somewhere in mind?
well, as of right now, I haven't really had the opportunity to look at
Well,
many different
yeah.
schools because everyone's stuck at home. But yeah, I have a couple of schools that I'm really looking at.
Oh,
Awesome.
good.
Good.
Okay. Well, maybe if
That's
our friend
not-
Craig is watching, he'll recruit
Yeah.
you. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Curtis, are you here?
Curtis.
Curtis.
Um, as an independent artist, right? So you're not signed to anybody, are you? You're not signed
No,
to any labels or anything, right?
not
And
yet.
how do you promote your music and sort of work the street here in the vernacular?
Social media is really since it's such a prevalent thing in society right now. I really use that as my main way of promoting my music.
Do you have a platform you prefer? Is there something that's working better for you, or?
I've had an Instagram account for way too long, and so that's where I've really built the biggest following. I have like 1,000 followers, um, but that's where I post the most about when I'm releasing things, what I'm working on, updates about when shows are going to be, stuff like that.
That's good.
Excellent.
That's good.
Excellent.
It's funny that she said she's had an Instagram. She's a rising
yeah.
senior, and she's had an Instagram account for way too long. While there's two old guys sitting here wondering what way too long means.
Yeah. What? Way too long is before there was internet.
Exactly.
When you're doing your graphics on a copier with another piece of paper and you're splicing it all together.
Do you know? Yeah, we could tell you stories all day. I mean, printing stuff up and taping it or gluing it onto a cassette tape, if you remember what that is. Well, why don't we do another song? What are you going to do next for us?
I'm going to sing the song that I released most recently. I released it about a month ago. It's called Grow.
Awesome. So we got the new one.
Pulling out the electric axe.
Yes. All I can do is grow. All I can do is grow. Take my heart and throw it on the ground. But all I'll do is grow. I'll grow. You said I was a sunflower and placed me in the ground. But when you saw the roses, you stopped wanting me around. So I built myself a garden full of yellow kings and queens. We talk out here for hours, shredding leaves and losing sleep. Oh, all I can do is grow. Take my heart and throw it on the ground. But all I'll do is grow. I'll grow. Watch the sunflowers fade into pale shades of yellow. You'll fade with them, and soon I will grow. All I can do is grow. All I can do is grow. Take my heart and throw it on the ground. All I'll do is grow. I'll grow. Ooh, oh, oh.
Excellent. If you're just joining us, this is the Weird Turn Pro, and we're here with Darcy today. And that was Grow, which she has just recently released. You're on pretty much every digital platform there is. I looked at your sheet, and you're pretty much all over the place. How do you do your distribution? Who does the who do you go through for distribution?
I use TuneCore.
Okay.
It's what I've always used.
Okay. That's you know, there are a lot of options now for independent artists to go out there and get their music distributed to the digital sites. And there are a couple of companies that will actually do radio blasts for you as well out to radio stations. So people need to know about that and take a look at those companies and find one that's right for your genre and right for your place. But yeah, so pretty cool. That's a
Yes.
great song.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Good.
Thanks.
And you will continue to grow.
So.
That is very.
All right, we're at that point in the show, I believe, where we're going to play a game with Darcy, and she's going to have a chance to win a prize today. We call it My Hometown, and the prize that you're playing for is one of our beautiful little. For you, it'll be an iced tea mug here that you're playing for, and. We like to play this because you know, everybody's from all over the place. We've had our Australian friend Michael Saletta on here. I believe we're talking to somebody in England right now who's thinking about joining us. So it's fun to travel around, and it helps me to learn a little bit about geography as well. So you're from Charleston, Illinois, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So we're going to ask you 3 questions. Jason's going to keep score for us. And he can count to 3. We've tested him.
Yeah. Even though I'm from Mattoon, I can count to 3.
I did read about Mattoon when I was doing my homework here, so there you go. So I'll ask you 3 questions. You have to answer 2 out of 3 correct to win your prize. Okay? All right, so here's your first question. What president visited Charleston often to visit both the courthouse and his father who lived there?
It was Abraham Lincoln.
That is correct. Jason, what is her score now?
There it is.
All right. Okay, here's one. What sandwich chain opened its first store in Charleston in 1983 at 4th and Lincoln?
Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's. Yep, and they didn't even pay us for that. They just got a freebie out of us, right? So
2 of 3.
2 out of 3. Let's see if you can do the clean sweep. I don't think we've had a clean sweep.
This is the bonus. You already have the mug.
Yeah, and I don't think we've had a clean sweep in quite a while. So here we go. Who was Lincoln's opponent in a presidential debate held in Charleston on September 18th, 1858?
Douglas?
Stephen Douglas. That is
Douglas.
correct. All right.
Yeah.
You all 3. So we will be sending you one of these beautiful beverage devices.
It's hard to go to Coles County and not talk about Abraham Lincoln.
It is.
Yeah.
And everything that I read, he was involved somehow, even in Jimmy John's. I mean, he's
Yep.
at 4th and Lincoln.
Yep.
They're at 4th and Lincoln, so it was hard to get away from.
All
All right,
You know,
what do you got
The good
for us
insider
next?
question would
Yeah.
be, what finger does it look like he's holding up in the giant fiberglass statue?
Oh, no, I'm not going to ask that question then.
I couldn't
All right.
answer it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What do you got for us next, Darcy?
This is another song that obviously I have not released it though. I wrote it a few weeks ago about a very good friend of mine. It's called More to You Than Her.
So right now, this would be the Weird Turn Pro exclusive.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
This is the premiere song from Darcy on the Weird Turn Pro.
All right. She's not worth your time, let alone your personality. She can tell you're not fine, at least not as well as me. I don't know what's bonded me to you, but I'm not sure what else to do. Just wipe away her lipstick stain, she's just using you. And open your mind to something brand new. And let me say I'm sure. Let me say I'm sure there's more to you than her. Ba ba da ba 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 da 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 da. You look at life as a blur, and you stand so unsure, not knowing what's best for you. But you should try to open your eyes, walk away from your demise, and into my arms, and wipe away her lipstick stain. She's just using you. And open your eyes to something brand new. Let me say I'm sure. Let me say I'm sure there's more to you than her. Da, 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 da. She can't hold a conversation, doesn't that just get old? Keeping her is not your obligation, at least that's what I'm told. Just wipe away her lipstick stain, she's just using you. And open your eyes to something brand new. And let me say I'm sure. Let me say I'm sure there's more to you than her. Da da ba 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 da 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 da.
All right. Have you recorded that at all yet?
There's demos of it, but
Okay.
it hasn't been mixed or mastered yet.
Right, so how do
It
you
sounds
produce? Yeah.
so throwback to me. I mean, it has this feel. It's hard for me to put it into words, but it has this feel like the just the general sense of it. I felt like I was almost like who am I looking for? Like Petula Clark, like Suzanne Vega maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it had this really cool feel to it. So I'm looking forward to hearing the production of it, which I think
Yeah.
that's where you were going. But
Yeah, that's where I was going. So when you're working on this, how do you end up producing your work when you're recording?
I actually work with a very good friend of mine. His name is Oleg. I met him when I was recording my EP in New York, And since then, I have gotten, the studio mic, the audio interface, the MIDI keyboards, just like a very basic accumulation of things that you need in a professional studio. So Grow, I actually recorded on my own, and then Oleg mixed and mastered it.
Okay.
So that's what I do. I have Logic Pro. I go in, I record the tracks. I'll do like basic mixing, little bit of mastering, and then I'll send it over to him because he knows a lot more about music production than I do, and he will kind of clean it up and make sure that it's good.
Nice.
That's fantastic.
That
Yeah.
is very good.
I will say that the songs that I've listened to online and that they're very nicely produced. So whatever you've got going there's working, and it's a good deal. Yeah. So yeah, very nice.
Very nice.
I'm gonna real quick throw up our sign up slate. Just so we just want to let people know, if you're watching and you'd like to be on the show, this is how you do it. You just send us an email at weird@weirdpros.com, and send us links and a good email and your phone number, and then we'll get back to you if we like what we hear. There's some things to think about here. We don't really want to do tracks because we want it live and in the raw. It's about your song, not the production, which we were just talking about. But we do like to hear the song the way it was originally conceived. And unless you're quarantining together right now, we prefer solo until we get through this. And then obviously the internet isn't instantaneous, so we can't do duets from two different places. Although we have tried that, it doesn't really work. So go ahead, take that away. I think what we're going to do here is we're going to let Jason play a song and let you take a short break while we put Jason on the screen by himself, and that'll give you a chance to
Sorry, y'all.
to take care of anything you need to do. What are you going to play for us today, Jason?
I'm going to play Time Matters.
Okay.
For a lot of reasons. But it'll take me back to a little bit, somewhat. As I started playing it this afternoon, I was kind of going through some stuff and what I would play. And I went to school for a very long time on the square in Charleston, Illinois.
Well, there you go. All right, Darcy. We'll give you a little chance to take a breather here. All right, and we'll see what Jason's got for us.
Used to think I knew my way around this town. I could stop at any neighborhood I around, meet a friend or two, and play some cutthroat pool, or the run of a tape or a brew. Now I'm asking strangers on the street for the way to places we have planned to meet. I'm so worried about what I should say. I hope I don't embarrass myself today. 'Cause you make time matter. I wish I had more with you. My life is all in tatters, so in love I don't know what to do. Now I find I awake at dawn every day, looking for the peace I have to say. I can't remember where I need to be. I keep wishing that you were here with me. 'Cause you make time matter. I wish I had more with you. My life is all in tatters, so in love I don't know what to do. Used to think I knew my way around this town. I could stop at any neighborhood dime,
All right. I like that song. It's got a little bounce to it.
Yeah, a little bounce around the square.
A little bounce around the square. Not familiar with the square. Can't really
Yeah.
comment on that.
Uh,
Yep. Yep. Um, Darcy, when you're on all these platforms and like Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Apple, right? Do you collect royalties from them? Do you get your royalties from them?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you self-published?
Yes.
Yes. Do you have a publishing company that you created?
Not an official one per
Okay.
se, but we're working on that.
Okay. And are you with a performing rights organization
No.
like ASCAP BMI?
Oh, yeah, ASCAP. Sorry, I totally forgot about
ASCAP. Okay, so you're ASCAP. Okay, all right, good, good. So for the songwriters who might be watching right now and who don't understand, you kind of have to do all that right in order to really, if you can put your songs out there, but unless you're with these organizations and stuff, they're the ones who actually collect the royalties and send them to you or whatever. And actually, if you're with TuneCore, they probably collect the mechanicals, right, for you. Yeah. So, but it's just good to let people know, kind of the path you have to take. And I just wanted to ask you about that so we could kind of make that clear. And does your dad manage you in terms of? I mean, do you do outside performances when we're not in the middle of a quarantine?
Yes, there's a couple of local cafes that I performed at a couple of times. We have an outdoor gig scheduled that's coming up.
Great.
We haven't really played any gigs for the past couple of months, which is unfortunate, but I mean, you have to do it. You got to do it to be safe. But I actually played a festival last summer. It was my first ever performance, but that was a lot of fun.
Festivals are pretty cool, aren't they? Yeah, yeah. Why don't you mention where your gig is so that anybody who's watching might be like the upcoming gig you have? We should let them know so maybe they
maybe
they
they know what
can.
it is.
My upcoming gig is at Dr. Smoothie, which is a really great. The owners are amazing people. It's a little smoothie. It's a little smoothie place that's on Lincoln.
No.
Yeah.
Man,
And it's coming up this Saturday.
Saturday
Excellent.
at Dr.
Excellent.
Smoothie. That's awesome.
Or-
And that'll be outdoors.
Correct.
So people can go socially distance themselves and listen to the music. That'll be awesome.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
fantastic.
Because I'm looking here online, and there's some folks from the region who are at least watching the show on Facebook right now. So
Yeah.
Nice.
you got to
Nice.
get it out
Maybe
there.
they'll go and see and watch. That's fantastic. All right, what do you got next for us?
Up next, I have a song that came out on my first EP, the one that I recorded in New York. It was mixed and mastered by a guy named Jeff Molesky. He's a great guy, and he was the one who really got me into the whole music production side of releasing music. The
Cool.
song's called Paper and Flower. This metaphorical love stands for nothing. I can't seem to escape the feeling of being trapped under LEDs and losing the feeling of feeling free. And you holding me. Everything is artificial, nothing is beneficial. Like being in a bright golden field paper flowers. You can't compare my heart using like oars. You constantly make me feel like I'm trapped under LEDs and losing the feeling of feeling free. And you holding me. Everything is artificial, nothing is beneficial. Like being in a bright golden field for hours with nothing but colored pencils and paper flowers.
Nice.
Excellent. Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah. My wife, who's sitting across the table as my producer, as our producer, really liked that one. She said it was a very good song. She really,
Oh, thank you.
she just piped up over there. So
Yes, it's a very, very pretty song. I have to say, Darcy, when you talk about all the people that you've worked with, you do a great service, and you're very professional in your
Thank you.
compliments and your style. So keep that. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. A lot of people will perform, and I've been, I live in Nashville, so I go and watch a lot of songwriters, and they forget to mention who the person wrote the song with them was, and things like that. So it's kind of important that you recognize the people that you're working with, because as much as you can do your recording at home nowadays and do everything, you really do need people on your side that can help you out, and it's really nice that you're mentioning all those names. It really is. And speaking of helping people out, I just want to throw this up real quick. Yeah, there we go. So right now there are a lot of obviously musicians and performers that can't perform because the venues are closed. Some of the venues are starting to open back up, but it's going to be a long time before these venues get fully open. So one of the places you can help the musicians out is at Music Cares, and they don't just provide money; they provide counseling, they provide all kinds of services to musicians that are struggling at any given moment. So this is how you can do that. It's just Grammy.com/Music Cares, and if you feel like you can help out, go ahead and do it. There's a QR code there. You can watch later, pause, scan, and away you go. Right?
Yep.
All right. So
Excuse me. Oh, he froze.
we had your tip jar up there, and I just want to mention to people that we'll put that up again later, but they can, down here in Nashville, they pass the tip jar. So for us, that's the way most of the musicians make their money down here, and right now it's pretty much the only way people are making money. So if you want to recognize Darcy's contributions here to the music world, we'll throw that up again later, and you can certainly send her something for entertaining you today.
Right.
So
And the
yeah.
efforts. The virtual pickle jar, as it were.
There you go. All right. Why don't we do another one? What else you got for us?
The next song I'm going to sing is a song called Forever. It's actually my mom's favorite song that I've written. I wrote it with a very good friend of mine. Her name is Maya. I accidentally wrote it for, we like to call him our roadie. His name's Skylar. We like having him around because he has a Chevy Trailblazer and everyone else drives sedans. So he deserved a song that was going to be written for him. So
Absolutely.
it's called
And
Forever. was 4 p.m. My heart was in my hands. You gave it a beat again. You pull me out of the river when I'm drowning in the deep end, the deep end. Don't know how you managed to pick up the damage, but I'll follow your lead when I can't seem to find the missing piece. You help me breathe. My best friend, my old friend, my relief. You're all I need. Feels like I've known you forever, forever, forever. It was 10 p.m. when we had to say goodbye. Knew I'd see you soon, but still felt like I'd cry. Thank you for all of the 8 p.m. talks about nothing at all. Don't know how you managed to pick up the damage, but I'll follow your lead when I can't seem to find the missing piece. You help me breathe. My best friend, my old friend, my relief. You're all I need. Feels like I've known you forever, forever, forever. Oh. The nights you don't feel at home, just know you're not alone. Oh. The nights I don't feel at home, I know I'm not alone. Oh. Don't know how you managed to pick up the damage, but I'll follow your lead when I can't seem to find the missing piece. You help me breathe. My best friend, my old friend, my relief. You're all I need. Feels like I've known you forever, forever, forever.
You know, it's funny that the kind of car you drive may play a role in what role you have in the band. Am I not right about that? Doesn't that happen all the time?
We could go into a story about that.
Yeah, I'm afraid. It's I seem to remember when I was younger and trying to play with other people and do things that, who the question was, well, who has a van? Who has, because it's true. I mean, you need, if you're going to put a little group together, it's not easy. It's not easy to get stuff where you need it to be and everything. So that's very
Not
interesting.
at
But
all.
that's a great song, and it's
Yeah,
it's
very
an
good
interesting
song.
concept.
And truthfully, you probably already realize that, but your mom's probably one of the biggest song critics that I remember in my life.
Still true.
Good to know.
Okay, I know if you like it, then it's not good enough, and it shouldn't be released anywhere. Because if it's not good enough for mom, it's not good enough for anyone.
That's not
Well,
bad advice.
This
But
it's
but
true.
you have
If
but she has a different filter with mom, and you should listen to what your mom has to say on this. I gotta say, I reached out to Darcy and her family to be on the show because I saw brief snippets of her performing on her father's Facebook feed, who's an old friend. And I got to tell you, listening to you perform now, what I heard as snippets were clearly just snippets. What you deliver is pretty amazing stuff.
Thank you.
So
That's
you
really
should
sweet.
Well, it's I think it's really important that you seem to be positioned for like all the right things right now. I mean, you have, you have all of your foundational stuff set up in terms of, understanding the music business side, and you also have, the performing chops. So,
Oh,
that's all there. So,
Right.
I think once we can get back out and really performing and doing stuff, I think I think it'll be exciting to kind of follow where you go from here. I think it's
Yeah.
interesting that you want to get in the audio engineering side. Uh, there are, I just was on a Zoom call last week with one of our former students, Jason. Caitlin Dittman was, I don't know if you remember her or not.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, but she is, where is she? She is an A2. Um, oh man, it's someplace huge. I can't remember, but when she said it, my jaw just dropped, and I was like, "Well, that's so awesome," you know. So
Right.
she's like the A2 at a huge place, but it's a great experience, a great job. Once you get out, once you get all that training and you get out, it's a great job. We've had plenty of students that go on tours and
Yeah.
do a lot of stuff just with their audio engineering, and then a lot of them that come. There's some here in Nashville that are actually working in studios down here, so it's pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a good
a
deal.
recent
Plus,
alum who was a student while I was still in the department has been traveling around as an A2 and A1, and she is an amazing musician, artist. She touches it, she can do it. She actually was in the
yeah,
boxing club while she was a student as well, and they brought her up on stage, and she played bass for couple of songs in on their farewell performance because she
wow.
was right there with everything. So it's a you can
Well,
I mean it's an open-ended world out there, and you're just at
plus
the
it
very
puts you,
beginnings of it.
plus it puts you in proximity to people who can, help your career. They can actually, you can get stuff to them. We always, Jason and I have been in, worked in the theater, and I always told my students, do you want to wait tables, or do you want to be backstage and possibly meet a director who can put you in a show? So even with our acting students, we try to get them to understand the technical side. So even if you want to be a performer, understanding the technical side is important. So
Yeah.
it helps everything out. So, yeah. So, what else? What else do you have for us? You have another one for us today, right?
yeah, yeah. This song is, let me switch instruments. This song, uh, I'm not really allowed to talk about who it's about. Um, People have asked me, and I like to kind of keep it a mystery. Um,
Awesome.
it's,
She's a deconstructionist, Jason.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I
yeah.
believe
So this song is called Friend Zone.
it.
Excellent.
I said, do you want to hang out? You said, I don't feel comfortable talking to someone I know I'll fall for. Can't fall anymore. And now I am thinking about what I should be trying to do about me and you. 'Cause this is all brand new. Stuck in the friend zone with nowhere to go. I wanna hug you, but I can't hug you anymore. Just sit alone on my floor thinking about life's become a bore. Don't wanna be here anymore. Stuck in the friend zone, stuck in the friend zone. Stuck in the friend zone, stuck in the friend zone. Should I leave you alone or keep going on? Stuck in the random? Should I leave you alone or keep going on? Stuck in the friend zone, stuck in the friend zone. Stuck in the friend zone, stuck in the friend zone. Stuck in the friend zone, stuck in the friend zone. Stuck in the friend zone, stuck in the friend zone. Stuck in the friend zone, stuck in the friend zone. Should I leave you alone or keep going on? Stuck in the friend zone, stuck in the friend zone. Stuck in the friend zone.
That is catchy.
Hey.
Very
That is
good.
catchy.
Yep.
That is fun.
I was doing the Jason bouncing thing off
Yeah.
camera, so lots of times I catch Jason because I can see him even when he's not on camera. I can see him on our little screens, and I often catch him bouncing, and I'll have my wife punch him up there for just a second so we can catch him live. But yeah. So I think I got caught this time. I want to do a little. I want to mention a couple things. First of all, in case you didn't know, Mac McAnally is doing a stream from La La Land in Muscle Shows tonight, right after this show on YouTube. For those of you who don't know who Mac McAnally is, he has been Jimmy Buffett's guitar player for about as long as I can remember, and he's a fantastic songwriter. He's an incredible guitar player, and I forget who he's gonna be with tonight, but there's a guest with him tonight. And if you get a chance to catch that after this, I would highly recommend it. The guy is amazing. And his songs are beautiful. I do want to mention that our audience is starting to grow a little bit, so we are looking, if anybody's interested in any sponsorships or anything, they can contact us at theweird@weirdpros.com. And then I want to throw up our guest next week is Craig Marshall. He'll be on with us. He postponed so we could do our special episode a couple weeks ago, but he'll be back with us next week. He's a singer-songwriter out of Austin, Texas, has won some awards down there in Texas, and has gotten a lot of recognition. So I think you're going to want to catch that one if you can. I do want to let's throw Darcy's tip jar up there one more time to remind people.
The virtual pickle
that-
jar.
The virtual pickle jar. If
Put my
you
hand over here so I can- there now.
there you go. He's watching. So make sure send her a little something for the performance today. We do want to take care of everybody. And Darcy, I can't thank you enough for joining us today. That was
It's a delight. It was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
very fun show. Very fun.
and it keeps us younger when we have nice young folk on the show. So
or makes you feel older.
or it makes you feel older, but it's fun. And actually, I think the people that watched today not only got to hear your music, but they got to hear a little bit about how you work, and they got to hear a little bit about how you promote and where they can get your music and how you do that. So I think not only were you performing, but you were helping out other songwriters with a little bit of a lesson today, and I think that's really important. So we really appreciate it. Jason, you got anything else for her?
Do I have anything else for her? No, I am kind of floored. It's great. I mean, I got a whole lot of stuff going on personally in this one, because I knew the parents when they were dating years and years ago, long before they ever thought of a Darcy, and I got to say this. I see you. I see Tara. I see David. I see, you are a delight and an amazing talent. So
Thank you.
Great. Hey, Darcy, we're going to ask you to hang around after we aren't live anymore to do a little wrap up with us for about 5 minutes, and just so we know where to send your prize and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, so everybody, this has been the Weird Turn Pro episode 11. That's right, we're up to 11. And we hope that you've enjoyed it, and we hope that you'll come back and visit with us next week. Just remember, as Hunter S. Thompson said, when the going gets weird,
The weird turn pro.
see y'all.